Y'all, I'm Jerry, about to check out 10 old WWE World Heavyweight Championship matches you need to see. This video is by Cultaholic Wrestling. We about to hop into this video and see which World Heavyweight Championship matches you need to see. Off the top of my head, I'll probably say, I don't know if they're gonna have it on here. I'll probably say WrestleMania 20 between Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chris Benoit in a triple threat match. Another one would have to be I want to say Batista and Undertaker. One of their matches from 07. And I gotta give y'all three, so I'm trying to think of a third one. I say Daniel Bryan versus John Cena from SummerSlam 2013 would have to be another one. So we about to hop into the video and see what's gonna happen, man. So let's go.
After almost a decade since it was retired at TLC 2013, the World Heavyweight Championship is back. Well, sort of. Somebody stuck a giant logo over the front of this one.
I don't like the logo though. I thought it was that. I like that one.
Some outstanding matches for the
Batista was my favorite wrestler back in the day.
WWE's big gold belts. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 matches for the old World Heavyweight Championship you should check out. Join us.
Who's number 10?
Number 10, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules 2012.
I think he about to say the
Daniel
WrestleMania
Bryan
match.
had a bone to pick with the new World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus after the Irishman dethroned the American Dragon in humiliating fashion at WrestleMania 28. And on the advice of my lawyers, that's all I'm going to say about that match. At the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, Extreme Rules 2012, Bryan and Sheamus faced off once again in a match that was given much, much more time. Over 76 times longer, to be precise, but hey, who's counting? This 2 out of 3 falls rematch for the gold was a chance for both men to show off their considerable wrestling chops, and that's precisely what they did. Not only was the wrestling in this match fundamentally sound, but it also made great use of its stipulation. Bryan got himself intentionally DQ'd to lose the first fall, but also inflict greater pain on his opponent. Bryan submitting Sheamus via the yes lock set the stage for a tense final fall. The injured champion would valiantly fight back, retaining his prize with a thunderous brogue kick. It's almost as if this is the match they should have had at WrestleMania. What a novel idea that would have been. Number 9, Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker.
No Way Out.
No Way Out 2006.
Okay,
the Royal
I agree
Rumble
with that.
pay-per-view from 2006 wasn't headlined by the Rumble itself, but rather by a World Heavyweight title clash between champion Kurt Angle.
I remember when Kurt Angle won the
challenger
championship
Mark
on the
Henry.
episode of SmackDown in the Battle
After
Royal.
Angle dispatched of the world's strongest man, he was interrupted by a returning Undertaker who rode out on a goddamn chariot. Just give him the belt already, he deserves it after that entrance. This set up a match between the two at the following month's No Way Out, and guess what? A match featuring 2 of the best wrestlers of all time was an absolute banger. The pair went back and forth for almost half an hour, with numerous near falls and set pieces to keep fans entertained. In the end, Angle rolled out of a primitive version of Hell's Gate to pin the dead man and just about hold on to his belt. The Olympic gold medalist would go on to defend the title in a triple threat at WrestleMania 22, whilst Undertaker's opponent for that show would be Mark Henry. Will you get out of here, Mark? Come back in 5 years when you're really, really good. Number 8, Christian versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2011. Christian's title
I prefer the match they had on SmackDown.
Very nearly
that match is pretty good to me.
Purely for emotional
when he lost
reasons.
the championship like 5 days later.
Toiling in the undercard and proving himself in TNA, Captain Charisma finally won his first WWE World Championship when he defeated Alberto Del Rio in a ladder match. Granted, this was only because his best mate Edge had been forced to retire while still champion, but a win is a win is a win, eh? The new champion was immediately thrust into a feud with Randy Orton, who promptly beat him for the belt on his first defense. Christian would win back the title off Orton after the Viper kicked him in the balls. No, really, that's what happened. Setting the stage for this no DQ
because Christian spit in his face
at SummerSlam. As a veteran of plunder-based matches, the champion was more than capable of putting together a great no-holds-barred encounter. As for Orton, he was no slouch either. Orton would defeat Christian once and for all after a gnarly-looking RKO onto a set of steel steps. He would hold the belt for a month or so before losing it to Mark Henry? Well, I did say come back in 5 years when you're really, really good, I guess. Number 7, Edge versus Jeff Hardy at
That match right there was good
2009.
too. I forgot all about that one.
2 years before Christian and Del Rio had
CM Punk cashed in right after that match.
2 of the Canadians' best buddies also tore the house down in the same stipulation bouts. Jeff Hardy had been beefing with World Heavyweight Champion Edge for the past few months, and now the two would settle the score in extreme
the final match they ever
fashion.
had together.
As you would expect from two men who made careers putting their body through unimaginable pain, Edge and Hardy left nothing in the tank during this brutal ladder match. Whilst nobody speared anybody from 20 feet in the air this time around, the two men
they might have Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk SummerSlam match they had.
Push
might be
each
on
other
here.
off ladders. Basically, if there was a ladder lying around, it was going directly into somebody's face. In the end, Hardy outwitted his opponent to win the big gold belt for the first time in his career. Unfortunately, though, the good times weren't to last for the charismatic enigma as he lost the belt just moments later. What happened, I hear you ask? Well, you'll just have to watch on to find out. Number 6, Batista versus Triple H at Vengeance 2005.
That was a Hell in a Cell match,
right? At WrestleMania 21, a young Batista finally ended Triple H's reign of terror by defeating him for the World Heavyweight Championship. Don't get your hopes up, though. We all saw what happened to Randy Orton in 2004. Wait a second, Triple H just put over Batista again at Backlash? Maybe this time we're actually onto something. The real test would come at Vengeance, where the two men would square off for a third and final time inside Hell in a Cell. As Triple H repeatedly reminded the champion, this was a match that Batista had never been in and that his challenger had never lost. Surely this was the end of the road for Drax the Destroyer. After a bloody, brutal affair, the champion hit an emphatic Batista bomb to finally put his former mentor down for good. This win came after possibly his best match to that point, as he and Trips had one of the better cell matches of all time. Oh, I'm just so glad that Triple H didn't just bury Batista here and win the title back. Maybe he'll stay out of the world title pit. Oh, wait, he's WWE champion again. Never mind.
Number
5, the Elimination
Triple H actually never won the World Heavyweight Championship again.
Just how did WWE crown the first ever World Heavyweight Champion? A grueling tournament? A massive battle royal? An actual fight to the death?
No.
Nope. Eric Bischoff just got the old WCW belt out of his attic and gave it to Triple H. Boo. The way in which the second ever holder of the belt was crowned was much better. At Survivor Series 2002, Triple H was made to defend his precious prop in the inaugural Elimination Chamber match. Another idea of Uncle Eric's, although I doubt this would have fit in his loft, the game was going up against a field of 5 challengers: Booker T, Chris Jericho, Kane, Rob Van Dam, and Shawn Michaels. The debut chamber match still holds up as one of the best, as all 6 men made excellent use of their new environment. Tripp survived all the way to the end, despite RVD crushing his windpipe with a botched frog splash. The King of Kings wasn't strong enough to overcome the Heartbreak Kid, though, as Michaels pinned his former friends to pick up his first World Championship in 4 years. Nice work, Hunter. Now please see a doctor. Number 4, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk at SummerSlam 2009. Cast your minds back to about 2 minutes ago when we told you about Jeff Hardy beating Edge at Extreme Rules 2009. Well, about 30 seconds after that, CM Punk ran out, cashed in Money in the Bank, and left Hardy with nothing. Classic Phil. This started one of the feuds of the year.
That match was, that feud was so good, it was so underrated.
Real-life personalities fed into a heated on-screen storyline.
If y'all hadn't seen that feud, go back to like around July, no, June of SmackDown.
Both men went hell for leather,
around June of SmackDown 2009, and you'll understand the feud.
Even hit a swanton bomb onto Punk through the announce table off the top of a ladder that was at least 2,000 feet tall. I'm not even exaggerating, I promise. The devilish Punk eked out a win, but the real winners were the fans and attendants who got to watch 2 of the best in their field put on a spectacle for the ages. Number 3, Chris Benoit versus Triple H.
I knew it, I said this match.
At Backlash 2004. You may have been expecting us to pick this trio's outstanding main event match from WrestleMania 20, but we thought we would shine a spotlight on this underrated gem instead. 1 month after Chris Benoit shockingly beats Triple H and Shawn Michaels to pick up the World Heavyweight Championship, WWE decided to just run the match back again at Backlash.
So this match I didn't predict right.
Benoit was now the defending champion instead of the chasing challenger, which was just enough variety to stop this match from treading on its predecessor's toes. although they could have just done the exact same match again and nobody would have cared because it was class. The sheer quality of everyone involved meant that this bout was guaranteed to be a success. The rabid Wolverine's hometown fans were well behind him as champion and were thrilled to see him submit HBK to retain the gold after another hard-fought contest. Number 2, Edge versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 24. With the exception of the triple threat from 20, the best match for the World Heavyweight Championship from a WrestleMania has to be the time Edge and The Undertaker closed out 24. There wasn't too much of a storyline going into this match, just that Edge feared the streak and Taker wanted to win the world title off him. But to be honest, it didn't
Undertaker
really need to be any
Undertaker
more
versus
complicated
Batista,
than that.
probably.
The two ex-Ministry members let their wrestling tell the story as they put on an all-timer in front of the Orlando crowd. Edge tried everything
I don't really
in the
see
book
nobody
and
else
some
doing
stuff
it.
not even in it, to
Having
put
a great
his opponent
World
away,
Heavyweight Championship
and at
match.
times it genuinely felt like he might be the one to bring the undefeated run to an end. Thankfully though, for Taker, the Phenom found a way to survive and submitted Edge with the Hell's Gate to extend his streak to 16. This was a match that more than lived up to the big fight feel moniker that WWE loves to plaster all over their major matches. Also, it gave us the image of Charles Robinson running down to the ring like he was in Looney Tunes, which is worth at least an extra star and a half. Number 1, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels at No Mercy 2008. In 2003, Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho had an amazing feud. 5 years later, WWE looked at the two men and went, "Can you just do that again, please?" After months of barbed comments, unsanctioned matches, and accidental wife punching, Jericho and Michaels squared off for Y2J's World Heavyweight Championship at No Mercy 2008. Incidentally, this was also a ladder match. Turns out the best way to have a good World Heavyweight title match was the Raider Hardware store the day before. This was far from the most violent ladder match in WWE history, nor was it the craziest in terms of spots.
There's a storyline of
this match lies in its narrative, which was told by two of the best storytellers the wrestling business has ever seen. So much of the feud leading up to this match was represented in the action, as Jericho dug deep into his arsenal to fend off his esteemed challenger. The champion retained in the end, but both men could be proud of the fact that they had just put on one of the best world title matches in the company's history. All it needed was Charles Robinson attempting to break the 300-meter world record. It would have been perfect.
Alright, y'all, great video, man. Let me know down below in the comments of what y'all thought of my reaction to this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.